Live from Hazard, Kentucky, this is Jammin Wrestling News. Here's your news for Thursday, May 2nd, 2019. In an interview with Fightful.com, Lio Rush addressed his issues with WWE by saying, "My issue has never been with Bobby Lashley. Being with Bobby has helped the both of us out tremendously. It's given me speaking confidence I didn't know I had. I never was a promo guy on the indies, but being with Bobby made me a promo guy. My issue isn't with my own on-screen role. My issue is the fact that I haven't been on meet and greets with Bobby, haven't been getting paid for merchandise for us that has my catchphrases on them. I have been sent to live shows and TVs and forced to pay for my own rental car for 5 days as well as hotel while not making enough money to do so. Walking around broke in the biggest sports entertainment industry that there is while having 2 kids and a wife to support." Rush also addressed the report that he wasn't paying his dues with the veteran talents behind the scenes by saying, "It's not about race and it has never been. But public perception is important to me, and when we have fans that travel all over the globe and watch us get off of buses and into hotels, the look of a black kid carrying waters and bags for other wrestlers is just not a good look, especially when I'm trying to portray myself as a superstar as well." Now, in response to Lio Rush's comments from last night on Fightful.com, during this morning's edition of Busted Open Radio, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry commented on attempting to give advice to Lio Rush by saying, "I pulled him aside the last time I saw him and told him, 'I'm hearing stuff in the locker room. What's wrong?' He said, 'Nothing's wrong.' It was a blatant lie to my face. I let him know that if he has a question, right now is the time to do that." Henry continued on by saying, "You're likely not going to run into someone who knows the system like I know the system. He didn't do that. He lied to my face. Sometimes you have to talk to people that know more than you do. If you can't pay for a rental car, you can't pay for a hotel with the money that you're making every week, then you need to change the way you're spending. You can't blame that on the office. If you spent everything before you got it, that's your problem. Back in my day, they would have told him, 'Lio, Bobby shouldn't have to drive. He shouldn't have to carry his bag. Yokozuna was my responsibility,' Mark Henry said. After these comments, he's going to have to go somewhere, or the company's going to have to tell him good luck with your future endeavors. It's not a race issue. It's an ego issue. Who are you? Nobody is exempt from being respectful to the business and paying homage to the guys drawing money. We all have done it. Steve Austin did it. The Rock did it. You think you're better than The Rock? Get the hell out of here." Thanks to SESscoops.com for the quotes. And staying on the topic of Lio Rush's comments that he made to Fightful.com while under contract to WWE, Mike Johnson of PWInsider.com noted the following regarding Lio Rush's comments of not being paid well in that interview by saying, "Rush's claims are interesting, especially since WWE sources have claimed today that Rush was offered a new 5-year contract that was said to be in the $300,000 range, but turned it down. Instead, according to multiple sources, asking for double that number." Johnson also mentioned the following, saying, "We are told that Rush has, on at least one occasion, instead suggested the company release him so he can show them what he can accomplish outside of WWE." Stay tuned to Jammin John's Wrestling News for any further breaking news updates on this story. The WWE is advertising Bill Goldberg for the next event in Saudi Arabia on June 7th. The initial belief was that Goldberg is being brought back to add star power to the Saudi Arabia show. However, Dave Meltzer of F4WOnline.com commented on Goldberg's deal and noted that there's another reason. Meltzer said, "The Bill Goldberg deal, they call Bill Goldberg, obviously, Bill Goldberg didn't call them, and the Bill Goldberg deal is to sign him to a deal which they wouldn't have done except they feared that he would go to AEW, and they wanted to make sure that there was no mainstream guy that they can add to that roster that might get them off, that curiosity that might get them viewership or anything like that." Thanks to 411mania.com for the quotes. And staying on the topic of Goldberg coming back to WWE, Randy Orton joked on Twitter about how much money WWE spent for Bray Wyatt's storyline with him and how much is being spent on bringing Goldberg back. Now this all started off a couple of days ago when Bray Wyatt tweeted on Twitter, "A couple years ago Randy Orton did some pretty bad stuff to me. He destroyed my temple, uncrowned me as the champion of the world, caused my brother to abandon me, and betrayed my trust. Worst of all, he didn't say he was sorry. But I forgive you, Randy Bobanders." Randy Orton fired back at Bray Wyatt by saying, "You had WWE spend $2 million on photo-projected bugs. What you expect me to do? Trailer Park Boys, Bo effin' Bandy over and out. Hashtag House of Horrors." Shortly after that, completely out of nowhere, Rusev chimed in and said, "Come on, you guys, Goldberg is back." Randy Orton fired back at Rusev by saying, "There goes another $2 million. According to Dave Meltzer of F4WOnline.com, the word is that Dean Ambrose, now known by his indie name Jon Moxley, will start working dates on the indies in June, if not sooner, with announcements coming shortly. Meltzer added that on the indies he can probably command several thousand per match, do meet and greets for more if he wants, and work as much or as little as he wants to with almost complete control of everything. The belief is that Moxley wants a deal where he has complete control of his character, and that's why he turned down WWE despite being offered a significant amount of money. Also, the current belief is that Rey Mysterio's son Dominik has been appearing on WWE television because the eventual plan is for him to start wrestling. Dave Meltzer of F4WOnline.com also noted that Mysterio has obviously an angle set up with the idea of introducing Dominik as a wrestler. And as of right now, Dominik has been training with Lance Storm in recent months. I think that would be pretty cool to see. You know, I remember whenever Dominik was in the storyline with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero had the t-shirt that said "I'm your Poppy" and all that. That was a great storyline. Can't wait to see what he can do in the ring. I think he will be a great wrestler. Also, according to Dave Meltzer of F4WOnline.com, Vince McMahon outright told Luke Harper in writing that he would not grant Harper a release. Now, Meltzer noted that Harper was regularly pitching ideas when he was injured, but WWE turned them all down. Meltzer added that Vince said that he didn't get him, and complained that he couldn't even do a Southern accent. That was from him wanting to do a Southern accent 4 years ago when he was with the Wyatt family. When plans for a feud with Sami Zayn were dropped after WrestleMania, Harper was told that he wasn't needed, but then was brought to SmackDown to work a dark match with EC3. Vince McMahon apparently didn't like the match, specifically the manager spots that involved Drake Maverick, and that led to Harper not being assigned to a brand. At some point, Harper decided to ask for his release. Also, with word coming out that Brock Lesnar is returning to WWE for the next Saudi Arabia event after announcing his retirement from MMA, NXT star Matt Riddle has called out Lesnar once again by tweeting on Twitter, "Rumor has it the Beast is coming back to WWE, and the bro couldn't be happier. See you at WrestleMania 36. Also, big shout out to Matthew Riddle. I messaged him saying, "I love you, bro," and he said, "Thank you, bro." So, big shout out to him for replying back to me on Instagram. While it's still unknown what his injury was, there is reportedly some good news regarding Daniel Bryan's future. Dave Meltzer of F4WOnline.com noted that Bryan was backstage at SmackDown this week, and he was medically cleared and will be written back into the storylines, perhaps as soon as next week. Meltzer added that if Bryan was cleared a week earlier, the Kevin Owens heel turn probably would not have taken place. And finally, here on Jammin' John's Wrestling News, in a video with WWE.com, Jeff Hardy revealed that he will be out of action for 6 to 9 months following right knee surgery. Want to send good vibes and well wishes out to the charismatic Enigma. That is your news for Thursday, May 2nd, 2019. Check back here tomorrow for another Jammin' John's Wrestling News Flash Briefing on Amazon Alexa devices, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, and iTunes. Follow me on Twitter at John Caldwell, JONCOLWELL. Follow me on Instagram, The Jammin' John. If you'd like to sponsor Jammin' John's Wrestling News or your wrestling promotion, want to get your next big event out, you can email me, jzcaldwell@gmail.com. That's JZCOLWELL@gmail.com. Big shout out to Ryan Hurdle and Tony Nelson for subscribing to my Patreon. You too can subscribe to me by going to patreon.com/JamminJohn. I have free packages on there ranging from free to $7. Not a whole lot of money. I would really appreciate it if you supported me a little bit financially. Once again, that's patreon.com/JamminJohn. This is Jammin' John saying thanks, goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow.